Hello and good evening. Yes, this is not our scheduled stream time, but it's Sunday, and I figured, hey, I'm painting some Starlight Brigade, so I could share it with you. It may be a little more chill than our usual animation morning breakfast streams, but it's good to be here. Hello to anyone that's new. My name is Michael Doig. I was the art director on Starlight Brigade, and so I didn't really have all that much opportunity to draw strive. So now that the video has released, I'm like being like, I want to draw them too. So I'll draw them too. So this is actually I started this illustration on Friday during the stream 4, and I'll just zoom out for you. Here's the protagonist. Hey John. Hey Devin. India is around. She is currently out of the room. I don't know. I kind of just impromptu did this, and she was on the phone to our parents just now, so she may or may not join. I don't know. I'm making this up. Let's take off the starting soon thing. Let's make it starting now. Oh, thank you, Jasmine. Thank you very much. Jordan's like, you know what? You gotta go off the rails sometime. So yeah, enjoying this character that you may or may not recognize. And I'm doing it all in one layer because, I don't know, I'm taking risks. But yeah, we usually stream in the mornings, like just after we wake up, as a way to like warm up, meet friends, talk about our projects. Hey Rewop, that's Al. For those of you who don't recognize Rewop, Al Power was the lead animator with us, as well as a whole bunch of other roles. That floofy ear. Oh, hey Kevin. You're sorting out your new tattoo. That's cool. It's not a single layer challenge, it's just more like I was on different layers and I just flattened it down for simplicity. Like, I was having to refine their silhouette because if you might notice up here, the top of his head, I just gone kind of crazy laying in like a big shape of color to try and work out. Oh, thank you for the follow. Just big shape of color, trying to figure out his their hair silhouette. And this track is bopping. Can you guys hear the music okay? Is it good volume? Oh, I'm Bolto, my gal. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Jasmine. It was a, I'm gonna say massive team effort, but it was a small team with big hammers effort. I have a theory. Like, a lot of people are like praising the video for its technical quality and stuff, and I'm not going to argue with those people for sure. I think the thing that's resonating with a lot of people is that it hits them with the story and emotionally, and that trumps visuals. Chillated, thanks for the follow. So yeah, what are you cool cats up to this evening? You all enjoying your weekend? Hey, Insanimate. I'm just trying to get some floofiness, because I like the floofy. If you've seen my illustrations of bears, I like the floofy part, and I'm kind of trying to give that quality to Strive's floofiness. I should take away the starting now thing. There we go, it's less distracting. You're currently trying to design a little food cart for one of the protagonists in your comic. Ah, cool. So, what elements of your character design do you want to like transfer onto their belongings? Because like you can say a lot about their character by the way they treat the things they own. So is it pristine, nothing, no germs can touch, or is it like bedraggled, like they drag it around, bumping it into walls? Have they been harassed? Did they have to repair it themselves? Oh, Swift isn't sleeping. She is she's in another room. I think she's still on the phone to her parents. I think they're being like, how is it going with the video? And all those conversations. He fights with a big wok he wears on his head. Love it. Both armor and weapon in one. Yeah, great. So this drive is a little kind of on the nose with like, it's just a kind of character standing, just looking at the camera, doing stuff. But I was just trying to get used to drawing them, so they're just kind of in a Strive with his hands kind of at that height, outstretched palms are sort of his go-to, so it was my go-to. His hands themselves are just, they were like blocks of color and stuff. Let's just find that out. That one's not so bad. There we go. Oh, thank you, Afro. Hello, Zenith Knight. Welcome. I hear a swift descend. Hello, Swifty. What does that remind you of, Jordan? Oh, thank you. You like the colors. That always warms my heart. seriously though, like I'm sustained by people liking my color. Strive's color and design had like Hyperlight Drifter and Fee from Zelda vibes. Yeah, I can see those influences. Yeah. He had there was a few iterations around the same sort of palettes that I'll probably be sharing some point soon. This is the one that kind of felt most right, and we had to figure out how they were going to appear in the different lighting scenarios. So like on their home world, I knew that I wanted to pull out a lot of the saturation and kind of reduce the palette down into more of a monochrome, still have those little elements shining through. And so I wanted it to kind of reflect the places from, but just be that touch more vibrant. So the blues and the purples of the world that he's from are kind of inherent in them. Do I have any tips for people starting out their own art stream? My advice is to make things that you care about first, and to not worry about how many people are watching. Just be yourself and be friendly, be engaging, be honest, and I wish you luck with that advice. Just be you, just be creative. There's not a rocket science to it, and I wouldn't say I'm all that successful as a streamer, so I think my advice can be taken with a pinch of salt. Davik says, I'm kind of upset about this video because I was working on my own version and now I don't know if I should finish it. You should finish it. Swifty shouting from the back. You should finish it. In the tech chat. Okay. If anything, what we don't want is to stop anyone from creating. Like, your interpretation is as valid as ours, and I'd love to see it. We love the music, we love the track, we love the positivity inherent in it. Masquerada, I am glad you found it too. Take it your own way, interpret it your own way. It's yours. Oh my gosh, India, you're making the chat just like... Mystic Blue, this is a impromptu stream, but I used to stream around this time, and it was cool. I simply just got too busy, but I've always missed it, and so like, because I was painting something that I could show finally, it's like, hey, it feels right. So I didn't really want to miss the chance. So. Oh crap! It's like 1:30 a.m. for Savio. Aw, Devin says hey. Draw Strive as a kitten. Give me a moment, because I think that idea is great.
Gorsh.
Kind of making up the markings on the fly. Answer Rene. Oh. What's the story behind Strive's parents? Oh yeah, D or Verdi was having real trouble with her stream, which is kind of the reason why it kind of prompted me to be like, oh, I could help you stream. And then once that kind of fell through, I was kind of left with this feeling of like, oh, I wanted to stream. Oh, you're going to be leaving for karaoke. Okay, Kevin. If you don't know Kevin, he's a fantastic animator. If you do know Kevin, he's a fantastic animator. I'm getting the nose wrong. Cat. Let's go here. Let's give him a blue nose. Let's give it feet. You can stream on Twitter? What? Oh no, I think it's like advertising that he's streaming. I see. Yeah, you should at least let the peg bar know. I think he would have a big pink floofy tail. He's a little kind of gremlin thing. I might squish him a little bit. Yeah. Kind of. There we go. There is a very impromptu little kitten that sort of has strives coloring. Back to the main event. Doig strive. Yeah, it's kind of got a bit more of a Doig energy to it, doesn't it? I missed the cat completely. Oh, Balthazar says, you guys are so good. Reminds me of pre-shutdown Disney Studios hand-drawn style. That is praise. I can't take responsibility for the quality of the animation frames, but I'll take it anyway. Thank you. And now Devin, she wants to draw animal versions of the whole Starlight Brigade team. What kind of animals would TWRP be? Meowch is just stumping me. I think they'd be a lemur. Sung would be a koala because of that picture. I feel like Hab would make a really cool little like reptile. Would he be a robot one? Said Swifty. Oh, that's really cool. Zani Hyper says, Starlight Brigade really inspired me to take up animation again and study it. You studied at university and the chat's gonna obscure you. Let's scroll up. The university that you went to destroyed your passion for it because they never taught you commercial animation. They just, whatever they wanted, it was a mess. But now I really want to study it, so investing in Toon Boom and the Animator Essential Guidebook. I think that's the name, so thank you. Do you mean the Animator Survival Kit by Richard Williams? Because that is a very good book. And recently, India was telling me that the work that she was doing now is now like, she feels like she's finally understanding the basic principles by having to apply them so not rigidly, but so like consciously. Like a lot of it was kind of going on instinct, but now the lessons in there are kind of, they're making sense. Courtney Rees, thanks for the follow. So I'm really excited to see what India has to say next about animating. Wait, is it the Animation Survival Guide or the Animation Survival Kit, India? Kit. I thought it was Kit. Both. Actually, I think I was about to say both India and I both own a copy, but I think India actually owns 2. India owns 2. One of them is signed by Richard Williams, and it's like in a glass case suspended over an acid pool, never to be touched again. Doig, please make the Strive piece a poster that you can buy. I will check and see if that would be permitted. Oh, let's see. Emory. Emory? Thank you for the follow. You want that Strive on your wall? Oh, let me see if I can make that happen. I'll have to finish painting it first, so let's not run before we can walk. Because I do want to do like more of a and like Strive doing an action painting as well. This one's just a kind of like how would I draw him? Hey Clumsy Martian, welcome back. Yeah, things are going well. I'm drawing Strive from Starlight Brigade. Exoskeleton you like to animate from time to time, only enough when I feel too tired to draw I animate because it somehow feels easier. India gasped. Is that just because you feel like you can do like rough animating where you're just feeling out the gesture of the movement rather than trying to make like one still illustration that has to feel solid? Because I can understand that. A lot of the time when I'm doing like little animation doodles, I tend to work really rough and just trying to feel like the motion. I never clean up. I'm terrible. Hey D, I saw you Grookey. There was a lot of appeal in the way that little monkey was jumping back and forth. He definitely had the principles in there. For sure. Let's knock out some of this, like padding to the hair that we don't need. You're welcome, D. Or Verdi, or Bertie, or T. D. D. Okay. Dang. If you ever need like assistance D with like streaming, what I could do is like we could do like a group call or something, or like I could just like sit out of the call and just try and project. Although if it's your internet service, then I don't know how much like a Discord call would hold up. saw that Twitch were going to do like more group things, which I think is really cool. I think streaming as a group is going to be a lot more entertaining for people to watch. Conversations, I think, are a lot. Well, it depends on whether it's like a passive audience or an interactive audience. Like, I guess if you have someone one-on-one like this, like I'm talking to you, I'm reacting to you, so I guess there's more engagement there. But I think for someone like myself who watches streamers and I might be working at the same time, maybe I should just listen to more podcasts instead. But I like the idea that you could maybe have like drawing jams or like an interaction between the streamers that's meaningful, where they're engaging with one another, or maybe they're all like drawing the same theme, or even if it's just working on, you know, their own project. Did I accidentally erase part of that? That's a shame. Any plans to draw pile anytime soon? No solid ones at the moment, Tyler. But I do love draw piles. Like they get you to experience firsthand how other artists approach just simply drawing, how they break down structure, how they like. I've seen David Liu, D Slugs, and he always seems to like put down a really rough structure first and just like lets loose, and then he'll transparent that down and then draw for like someone's like inking, I guess. Which I don't tend to do, and I think I should do more. Like, I think I try and rush to finish, which is weird because I stay rough. But Slugs did draw an impeccable stool point on a draw pile. It was fascinating. I didn't know where he was going with it, and then he suddenly like burst out like surface detail and like shading. I think there's a confidence that you can build by drawing in that sort of scenario. I don't think you start with it though. I don't think you wait until you're confident to draw a pile and then be like, okay, I'm good at it now. I think you have to like go through the gauntlet. It's not really a gauntlet. A fun kind of challenge. Can you tell us about the backgrounds? I found the rainbow pastel sky colors you used at the end. You found them? Did you find them to be something? I think, are you meaning the scene where the kind of elder character is looking up with a tear in his eye? Because I like that one. I think I initially had the rainbow effect a little bit too strong, and India Swift pulled me back in it, and I think it worked way better because it was kind of too intense, and then the character that you're meant to be looking at is like hey, I'm over here emoting, and you're looking at all of those colors. So I think pulling it back and adding a little bit less saturation and less contrast, like you still get the feeling of color returning to the sky without it being like, oh my god, all the color is filling the sky. If you ever want to practice having your drawings read quickly, Scriblio is super fun and great game to practice that with. Okay, that sounds amazing. So is that like Pictionary, but like you have to go super fast? Is that an online game or is that like a in-person game? Ah, yeah, it's Pictionary. Gotcha. Oh, like it literally is like another brand name for Pictionary. Myself and India once attempted to play Pictionary with my family, and there was this great moment where, like, in succession, we got the topic river, and then the very next topic was bridge. And so, like, India just drew, like, 2 lines across the river, like, when I was like, bridge. And she's like, yes. And my family were just like, what are you monsters? How are you getting these so fast? Like, I was used to India's shorthand, so I was like, is it this? And she's like, yes. Roughen their feet a bit more, their shoes. Artists are asses at Pictionary. Online, just need to link to whoever's hosting the game. Oh, okay, cool. Like, visual communication is really powerful. Like, it kind of what the world is built on at the moment is being able to communicate visually, like everything from a sense of design, products, advertisement, media, journalism, down to like entertainment. It's all that skill of being able to communicate one idea to another person without having to be in the room. Plus, you can destroy people at Pictionary, so. Yeah, I'd be up for doing some Scriblio. If I get to team up with India. You know what I'll do? There's a cool thing in Photoshop where if you are like working on a canvas, you can go up to window, arrange, and then get a new window for the same document that you're working in. So if I pull this out, you can have this here. It's kind of like your navigator, but instead of it sort of moving where you move, it just stays still, so I can make changes here and the updates over here. So for those that are like kind of cool for a stream as well. For those joining, they can see what it is I'm working on. I'm not sure which software has this feature aside from Photoshop, because this is the one I use predominantly. I don't see it being too difficult in other software programs. Tib says Krita has that. It is useful. Krita is an open source kind of painting software. I thoroughly recommend it for anyone that wants to even professionally like make artwork, but it's a great kind of introductory piece of software since there's no cost to it. You can learn and thrive in there. Oh, Clip Studio Paint has it as well. There you go. I'll need to check the model sheets again, but yeah, he has these kind of, sorry, they have these kind of star shapes on the kind of ankle part of their boots. I think they're a little softer than I'm making them though, so yeah. Thank you for the follow. Wait. Oh cool, that is on GIMP. There you go. Like it's a really useful way for like if you're working on a painting and you want to step back from it and see like the whole thing. That's really important to make sure you're not like muddling values, which is the light and darks of your painting, to the point where you're ruining how clear sorry, how clear the overall image is.
Gorsh.
Jordan says, I loved how gender neutral Strive's design is too. So I've seen people say he and she, and I'm just like, yes. Yes. Yeah. I think we all can interpret it in our own way. I am trying to train myself to say they though, so you hear me catch myself. You've been calling them Bridger for a while. That's cool. Really trying to get a sense of material. These shoes are almost kind of woolen. Don't know. What I was gonna say is like I don't know what they're specifically made from. This is just like because we only need to worry about, you know, flat color. Everything was suggested by the shape and the design. So I'll ask our character designer what sort of material did you see Strive's shoes being? Yeah. Thick and warm, soft cloth. So I think I'm on the right track. That's what I figured. That's like what my brain was being like, you know, it's this. So. Okay, cool. Yeah, Elle says Strive is just the name the production team gave them. It's cool that you have your own name for them too. Yeah. Akai. I'm just gonna call you Akatana. Apologies for the pronunciation, but they said I would guess it's leather with interior attached fur, less polished, just cured. That's a cool interpretation. I think you could have maybe an interior structure that the cloth is around, just to keep the shape. There's probably material that's different for the sole. Renee, hello. Oh, Jenna, you're doing some drawing of Strive along with me. That's super cool. Yeah, I haven't really mentioned it on the stream yet, but like we're really flattered and staggered by the amount of fan art we've been seeing, so close to like being like the video. It feels like it's still only just dropped, and to see like just how many people were rallying to be like, I'm gonna draw something. Like, it's just super heartening. So yeah, thank you. Space leather. I have a cough, Jordan. Apologies for like spiking the mic. You approach drawing differently from India. You start with shapes and color while she does line art first. Yeah, I kind of like, I feel like I'm a kind of 2D sculptor in a way, where I like to when I draw like life drawing, I really enjoy using charcoal, because you can sort of use the broad side of it and then erase back the shapes that you need for what you're describing. And I kind of do that too when I'm painting. Sometimes I'll do like an underdrawing, but I'm not scared of line. I don't know, I think I just like getting kind of painterly and brushy back. I don't know. I think I should spend more time in the drawing stage, if I'm honest. I think in the next drawing that I do of this character, I'm gonna do a rough where like I figure out a cool pose first before I start like laying in color or detail. Yeah, Starlight Sonas are a really cool, unexpected kind of side effect, symptom, or like a result of people like really enjoying the world building, I guess, and wanting to see more characters in that space. We had a kind of a draw pile just this morning actually. David was like, "Hey, I'm gonna be working late, and it would be really cool to just chill and hang out with you guys." So we started drawing her own Starlight Sonas, and I won't tell you about them, so I'll keep them a surprise. But really cool stuff. I think I need to show that the cord is pulling the material in. Get a more harder edged eraser, so I can definitely show that. So pulling in here. Yeah. If you can hear scratching in the background, that's the house cat. Her name is Buffy, and she is the most adorable little princess. Rebecca Green goes, "Hi, Buffy." Akatana says, "So many series premises right now are pessimistic, dark, and cruel, masquerading as honest or realistic. Stories that contain hope are such a shot in the arm that people gravitate to them." I think that's a really nice take. Like, who doesn't like a little bit of, escapism or like idealism? Like, we can be better. The success of the video really makes me happy, says Exoskelet. I've been a fan for a few years now, and they clearly deserved it. I think you mean it's good to see them known for something other than the hit. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. We, Swift and I, Swift in particular, were massive fans of both Dan Avidan and TWRP, like way before we were approached to work on the video, and so being approached to work on it was both terrifying, like exciting. I don't know. Do you want to say a few words, India, about just how it felt to? I think, is your microphone still hooked up? Isn't it? She's gonna come over.
Hello. Yeah, it was truly a huge honor for us, and it was frightening, but it was also amazing, and we really jumped at the chance to do it because we knew we couldn't pass it up, and they were just as amazing to work with as we were hoping, and they really facilitated the whole process. They were super encouraging, wonderful, wonderful people, and they supported us all the way through, gave us all the artistic freedom that we wanted. We're always there to answer questions and help us out. They gave us great references to work from. They helped us out when they could with things we were having trouble with. They were just amazing. The entire experience has been incredible and humbling and uplifting and affirming and all kind of ing words
Yeah.
that
All the adjectives.
More than I can possibly list. So it's honestly a bit overwhelming, most of all, but also wonderful. All the entire team and TWRP and Dan and the whole of NSP, they deserve so much love, praise and support. Everyone who worked with us deserves love, praise and support because everyone worked their butts off.
They did. I'm sorry about all those butt amputations.
But we're super proud of everyone who we worked with and we're proud of the result, and we're really, really happy that people like it. Because there was a moment before it released where we were all doing our pants a little bit.
Just a little. And I'm just going to issue a small apology, or an apology to Tyler there. I didn't mean to make light of that. You know, I think you know what I mean. I used the word amputation, and we know someone who recently were in an accident and had to have part of their foot sort of removed. So I apologize. I was just saying it out of jest, but I should be more sensitive than that. Butts will grow back, says Al. There was one shot in particular where Strive crest the hill and their star on their boot, like through the compositing, it just became super shiny and distracting. Yeah, like what are you doing? Yeah, I had to go in and particularly replace that color in order to prevent that, because I like the sort of the bloom was occurring. But if I turned that down, to minimize the star shine. It's best. Well, that's cool, Tyler. Thank you for understanding. Gonna cough away from the mic. What would you guys do if you were approached by Netflix? I think you could probably imagine what we would do. That would be very cool. Do I take commissions? I would consider them and going forward in the future. I don't have a set price list, but if I have enough people to fill some slots, then yeah. If you're asking for India to do commissions as well, I believe that she is looking to open up some slots as well. I think what we'll do is figure out what sort of commissions we'd be looking to take on, and then charge a price for that type of commission. So it could be say a character like this, or maybe something that's a little bit more doing something, a little more verb and less stand. But yeah, if you want to let me know, let me know now, what the sort of thing you'd be looking for. I can give you some response now, and also give me something to think about. Superior fan base. If I miss anything, by the way, if I miss something you want me to respond to, just in a reasonable thing, say it again, because I don't want to wear out my mouse wheel. No, I just don't want to keep jumping back up and down. The Superior fan base said, the setting presented in the video is such a fantastic blend of science fiction and fantasy. It sets off my creative kick in a way that hasn't been set off since I saw the original Star Wars. Oh, that's super cool. If you like what we were doing in the video, I would super recommend you look at the the people we were inspired by. There's a painter called John Berkey. Let me write their name. I think it is just this. Oh, India just did. John Berkey stuff is like, wow, like his color work is just fantastic. Zenith Knight says, hello, I would like to commission an entire anime. I definitely don't have a price list for that. Ah, yeah, the Pink Floyd reference. That was something that India took from, I think it's Dan's favorite album or one of them. Right. Gotcha. Yeah. India's saying that's one of the first images that we pitched to them. So that was like super in there from the beginning. FFX says, anytime I was animating the stars, they'd be chanting, Killing! Killing! Dark Floyd of the Pink. Ah, hey Nikki. Zenith Knight is they like the fact that that it says Black Knights and Dark Side battle cries right as the Pink Floyd reference happens. And asked, what would you say to someone who wants to learn how to use Photoshop on their own? You're super discouraged by how complex it is. I would say that you only need to learn part of a software that you need to use. And so don't worry about all of the things that Photoshop can do. Worry about all the things you want to do with it. And then figure out how to do those very, very specific things. And just take one new challenge or one new thing that you want to do at a time. Try it out. Ask Google that very, very specific question about how do I draw a line? You can take it really basic. How do I make a brush? How do I install a brush, perhaps? And don't worry about the rest of it. I probably only use about 5% of what Photoshop can do. And that goes for like any software. You only really need to learn what you want to do with it. It's a tool for you to problem solve with, not a wall for you to climb over in order to get to what you want to do. And yeah, if there's any specific questions you have, like just going in, feel free to ask me here. I probably will have faced the same problem before, and if I haven't, someone in the chat might have. Like, ask questions, no matter how silly it feels to you. If you ask it once, remember it and use it, you won't have to ask again. And never be embarrassed. Like, we all start somewhere, and it's usually at the beginning. And any artist that hears those questions can identify with you starting there. Anyone that ridicules you for asking a question that like a question's probably valid. Anyone that ridicules you is not really worth your time. Sorry, I stopped looking at the chat while I was fixing up the hand there. The Jordan usually uses like most 2 brushes. Yeah, find maybe a group of 4 or 5 that have multi-purpose and just like use them for a bit and really learn to draw and paint with a limited tool set. There's like concept art brush packs and things like that that allow you to quickly achieve like textured results, but don't rush to those too fast. Like, learn how to like form solid shapes and stuff first, and like practice with like the fundamentals for a bit before like jumping into trying to make things that are too complex. That would be my advice. Akitana says, I'm writing stories on your site, and their site is set up that the stories are accessed by postcard-sized images, sort of like book covers. I'm looking for art that can be loose and painterly and give the impression of a character or mood rather than something rigid. Oh, is this the commission you're looking for? Oh, that could be really cool. It kind of sounds like a color script panel, if I'm honest, and I make a few of those. So yeah, if you send an email to doigswift@gmail.com, just giving me a little bit more detail about what you're looking for, I'll give it some thought. As in, like, I'll see whether I'm a right fit for it. Did someone ask what my favorite scenes are? Oh, I really like. I'm gonna name numbers of scenes for you here. I really like 70. That was a favorite. 119 was really cool. So they are. 70 is the one where it's immediately after the Sakuga section where you see all of the ships kind of fly past the camera around the periphery and like head towards the big kind of space barrier. The feel and the kind of really deep saturated blue in that, and like the ships reading as dark on light, I just really like that moment. It feels quite vibrant. Like a lot of the beginning stuff, it's a little bit less, and that one just feels like really high energy right before like the low point of the music video kicks in. My chat paused. Let me go down. Having limited tools is honestly very freeing for Jenna. Yeah. Start small, work outwards. Epifexes says that their favorite is Meowch looking terrified in the void. I really like that one. That one started out as a pencil sketch that India did in one of her like sketchbooks, and it was just really emotive. I think that became the boards, and then it became the rough drawing that she used to ink. I think that's right, isn't it? I was saying that Meowch looking terrified in the void started out as a pencil sketch, like in a sketchbook that you had, and you just scanned it in and used it for the board. It was just yeah. I'm a little bit behind in the chat, so I'm gonna kind of rush to catch up. If I miss anything, I'm sorry. Superior fan base. You like the hero's journey begins when they find the ship and choose to enter. And the scene where they get injured, the emotional cinematic depth to those bits were rad. I'm saying thank you, but I'm thanking you on the behalf of Swifty and the rest of the team. Tibbs is joking. Tibbs is saying that her favorite shot is the close-up on Strive's engine. It's probably the longest shot in the video, and it just felt it was really powerful and symbolic. It's 6 frames long. Yeah, there are a lot of nice moments throughout. Hey, how are they looking? Hey there, Yugimation. Welcome to the stream. Or welcome back, I guess. Mean to say. Michael Stone, thank you for the follow. Akitana, thank you for the follow. All the followers, I'm gonna give you a little oh, do I have it? Oh, I have to add it. Let's see. Add the image. Add existing. Is there a celebrate one? Oh man, there's not like a celebrate one. What is that called? Can't find it. Oh, maybe it's a media. Yes, there we go. Celebration. Okay, there we go. Have celebrating cats for all the followers. Thank you, Yumation. We us and the team worked really hard on Starlight Brigade. I hope you can tell. Starting later than usual. Yeah. Couple of days later than usual. How long was it in production? It was roughly, I would say 8 to 9 months. Yeah, let's go with that. Closer to 9, yeah. Okay, I'm adding a little bit too hard edge into the cloth there, so I'm going to go back to this sort of brushy canvas brush. Feather that out a little bit. I think I don't need all of this light on their lower half. many people are part of the project. There was 8 of us in all. It was a smaller concept. Sorry, it was a smaller concept team to begin with. So there was myself, India, Tibbs, and Al Power, and we workshopped it together for the first few months. I think it was like 3 or 4 months, and that during that process there was storyboards, the initial pitch, character concept, ship concept, design. There was some environment stuff to try and work out how to emulate the artist that we admired. Yeah, there was the series of shots. They're now known as 16A, B, and C. Were the ones immediately. The one where they have the reflection. They put their hand on the ship. They push through the ship, and then they land on the other side where the first scene's animated. Savio thinks I sound more excited than usual. That's cool. Worms asks, question for both of you. India, what was it like directing this project? Is this an experience you always wanted to do with a team of people? And Doig, how much of the background art was pushed? I'm not sure what you mean by pushed, but I think India is typing a response to you. It wasn't necessarily the easy ones that were started with. I think there wasn't really a set order. We didn't work from start to finish, that's for sure. I think there was a certain period where, while people were getting to grips with the pipeline and drawing the characters, some of the I think as you say, some of the easier shots were picked up first just to get the wheels turning. Yeah, sometimes you just need a little win. Yugimation asked, is Starlight Brigade meant to be one-off project, or is there plans to develop it further, such as more music videos? It was commissioned as a one-off project for the track for the band. Yeah. Danime. Did TWRP approach us about this, or did you see the video and go, hey, this could be cool? So we work with Patrick Stannard for Knights of the Light Table, and Patrick was directing something at the time, and they approached him to see whether he would be interested in forming a team and directing the music video. And luckily for us, he wanted to take on the project, but he didn't feel like he could spare the time to do it. So because we were already working with him, he nominated India to direct in his stead. And so we were this was like before the album had released, so yeah, I think we were like outside of the band, like one of the first people maybe to have heard the track. we immediately loved it, says India. you want to mic up? It's okay. India's just talking to me. I'll be her voice. You based the hero's hair off of Dan's hair, didn't you? I think there was an element of that to it, yeah. He's floofy. Dan is floofy. He is floofy. I have memories of Dan being like, he wanted to have a character that embodied an idealistic kind of worldview, and so that was the core of this character. Oh, see you, Tib. Worms clarified that for the backgrounds, I meant in terms of what he was able to do so far and apply it to this short. Oh, did I have to push myself to be able to do it? Yeah. I did a little bit of study of Roger Dean to try and figure out like what made his work, essentially. I don't think I was all that successful in capturing it, but I tried to use this shape language and the way that he used high contrast interlocking shapes. So you can see that in some of the mountain ranges near the shots where the ship is found. Really, I think I was more trying to channel Killian Eng and John Berkey. John Berkey particularly in the space shots. That was really fun. Trying to find the color kind of vibration between what was happening in the spacescapes. The spacescapes were pretty hard in that we didn't have stars to rely on to communicate that it was space. So yeah, it was I think it was more challenging for me to balance my time between comp and backgrounds. That was the real challenge for me. It was just finding enough time to do what I needed to do. If you watch the if you watch the music video, while watching the music video, a lot of the more organic backgrounds likely were like mine, and more of the like ship interiors and solid like line work stuff will have been Renee, who is fantastic and taught me so many things I had no idea about in terms of like background production and just how to approach it with the mindset I needed to. She was a real saving grace, and like just the way that she structured her work as well was really informative. Like she worked very clean, whereas I can tend to get a little bit messy. This is too much contrast, so I need to. Renee says, I thought Doig things? Goodness. Faint. I sound different. Oh no. Better, I hope. I'm not as echoey, I hope. I think I need to just literally undo all of that. Come on, Photoshop, respond. Come on. Do the characters have names? They do. The names of the characters are pretty much like we pretty much just called them the names of the band members. So Dr. Sung, Commander Meowch, Lord Phobos, and Half Hogan. Then there's Ninja Brian. Although I see people calling him like, I think it was L was saying like Space Ninja Brian. And then like the team, like I pitched the name Strive for this character, which is based on Dan's kind of idealism and stuff. I called this character, I pitched the name Strive, that was kind of thought to be cool. And so this character, to me and the other members of the team, it's pretty much Strive. Like that's, we can't say that's the official name, but we can say that the client wasn't ever like, no. So. Oh, Regular Wonderland, thanks for the follow. You think that Strive is definitely an anime protagonist name? Wow. Cool. Try to come up with something that describe what the character symbolize, I guess. Hey Alice. Yeah, Strives in particular, their clothing was very Miyazaki-esque and Nausicaa inspired. Ave, sorry for, I'm not sure which way to pronounce your name, but it's about 9 months. Oh, India, Richard Elson has seen Starlight Brigade. Ah, you see. She's grinning like an idiot. Oh, is that a thing? Thanks for the follow. What did we find difficult? There are so many posts that we can write. Like, the challenges that we faced are like probably articles worth of like, here's what we faced, this is how we overcame it, here's things that we struggled with. India says time was probably our biggest challenge because we were so ambitious. We knew that we wanted to make something that we could use to prove what we could do. This was the opportunity that, like, we didn't want to squander. We wanted to make something that... Thank you. India's feeding me words. We wanted to make something that resonated. Not just something cool, not just something pretty, but something that showed our storytelling chops. I think showed our heart. Yeah. So yeah, we set an initial timeline, and like it was real tough to do everything that we needed to in that time. Everything that we felt we needed to in that time. But the clients, you know, the band saw like that we weren't slacking, and were understanding that like certain milestones that we had been aiming for were just slightly out of our reach, but we kept at it. Oh, Lawrence, you're working on a short comic and RPG book. Just something you always wanted to do and never had time idea on what you really wanted to do. That's really cool. We've got this epic kind of like movie soundtrack going on while everyone's telling me that they're making progress with their projects. Yeah. I think I don't know where I heard this advice, but it goes along the lines of the person most like that's standing in your way most is yourself. So just get out of your own way. And like if you're trying to say like other people or other or external factors are preventing you from doing what you want to do, take responsibility for that and really apply yourself, and you'll be amazed at what you're capable of doing when you give yourself the chance to do it. And it's hard to like support yourself by your art. It is. And sometimes you have to do that part-time job, and it's you're tired after it. So I think India's advice for that is like, if you're tired at the end of your workday, why are you giving some like that job your best hours? Like get up earlier and make the thing you want to make before you go to work, before you're tired. And that's hard, but like that's probably a better way, because it's so easy to just come back and be like, oh, I deserve to relax. You gotta do the do. I remember a couple of weeks ago, India is she meant to reply to someone, and instead of replying, she tweeted it, and she just said, "You gotta do what you gotta do," and people were like, "You're so wise." She's like, "Fuck." I stand in my way a lot, one way. So I'm speaking from experience. There's projects I've wanted to do for years, so I know the struggle of trying to make something, or like wishing you had made something. My cure is this little gremlin that I live with. It's just like and at me. I think that's why India and I complement each other work ethic wise. Is like she is a go-getter, and she'll like go for it and then try and figure out how to make that happen later. And I'm very much like, oh, like I front load trying to figure out how I'll do something, and I get paralyzed by like all the choice. But if I'm dragged into the situation where like we're already there and we have to make it work, then I'm in that space of like, okay, here's how we figure that out, I hope. Don't call Buffy a gremlin. I'm not. I'm calling Swifty a gremlin. So yeah, if you find it difficult to work solo, collaborate if you can, and that's a whole minefield, I know, because you can find people who that like don't gel with you, but if you do find that person that does, oh. What was TWRP's reaction when they saw the finished product? They were positive. Yeah, they really liked it. There was actually there were 2 rounds of reactions to the final product, because we submitted something and they were like, "That's awesome, cool, thank you," and then we're like, "We're not done yet." And then we spent another couple of weeks just like really trying to lay on everything that we wanted in there. And then we submitted something that was like, okay, here's the final. So it was kind of like, oh, okay. It was like, they didn't expect us to give them something better than we'd already given them. Well, we had a milestone that we had to deliver for, so we submitted what we had at the time. But we knew that we could just make it that little bit better. There were certain backgrounds that were a little lackluster, and there were certain like sequences that didn't quite fit together. So a lot of it was just my own, like, it was a lot of post-production. At that point, the animation was like done. So it was kind of my ballpark to be like, what can we do? And India, no joke, like, she was pretty much like poly filler and just figuring out where the gaps were, and just tightening everything up. Buying love is possible? Oh, did someone ask how we met? India. How did you meet Swifty, first of all? Renee, I hired Mike to do concept art when I was trying to make an indie game with some friends. This is true. India was on the ball and I'm the bottleneck. Yeah. I'll take that. Privilege and discrimination definitely play into things that make personal goals hard to chase, but sometimes you just have to even if you're only treading water. I think I know what you mean. I don't I don't like discrimination. If that wasn't like, if I even have to say that. And I know it's not the same for everyone. And I hope that changes. I think it is changing, but I really hope that changes. Jordan's like, the way you said some backgrounds weren't as good as, I just imagine the first pass you showed was scribbled lines and stickmen, and TWRP was like, oh my god, it's beautiful. Not even India's first boards were scribbled lines and stickmen. No, they weren't. Hey, that's a circle. Oh, they can't hear you, can't they? India says, hey, some of the ships were just circles. But those Those circles communicated motion and emotion. What is the deal with the gems? I noticed that Young Strive's is star-shaped. I think in the design of Young Strive, he has the star on his actual clothing, but the gem is the same shape. Annie Flowers, someone said, can you draw a kitten version of Strive? And so this was a really, really rough approximation of that, just for fun. Jenna says, okay, here's something I've always wanted to know. When starting off learning to draw, is it okay to just copy others' art? Like right now, I'm just copying a frame from the video. Okay. Copying art is probably the same semantics as observing and drawing from observation. Like, okay, there's an important difference between drawing from observation and like copying. If you're copying, you are drawing a drawing, and that's very different from drawing the subject of the drawing. So if you're studying something, you want to look past the surface of what the eventual result of what the artist did was, and figure out why they did it the way they did it, why the lines have the different line weights, why that communicates depth and form. So starting out in copying, you're seeing the end of the process. That's why I would always recommend that you draw from life, because you're seeing the beginning of, you're seeing the raw form before the abstraction has occurred. And when I say abstraction, I mean the kind of stylization of anatomy and perspective and facial features. So while you can learn a lot about like the choices that artist makes, it's often good to look at what they've made as a big group. But if you are learning to draw, then study actual people's faces and how the form changes. Like, do it from photographs, do it from life if you can, and that will give you the fundamentals that can like build beneath the surface that you eventually build out to the abstraction. That has made any sense, and I hope it has. What I'm really trying to say is, copying a piece of art is fine. Studying why that piece of art exists the way it does is where you're going to improve most. Yes. Yeah, India's saying that copying another piece of art it's totally cool. Like, if you really like that piece of art, it's cool. As long as you don't claim that you drew it, because that's plagiarism, it's totally fine. I wouldn't criticize you for that. It's like you're expressing yourself artistically. If you want to learn how to draw, then yeah. Like, India has done animation studies where she looks at how a particular animation sequence was done, and that is when she's trying to figure out why that works. Yeah, I think you need to think of yourself as like an input, a process, and an output. And the output is your drawing, and the input is the drawing that you're looking at in order to do the drawing. And you are the important part as the process of figuring out why you're drawing it the way you are, how you're drawing it the way you are. All of that process stuff is once that's like occurred, like a machinery, the byproduct of that is your style. And you don't need to worry about that. That's always going to be a byproduct. You're always going to spit that out the other end. But if you just figure out what it is you want to draw things that appeal to you. Like, just go nuts. I feel like I've missed a couple of things, so I'm just going to scroll up a little bit. Doig, I need your color advice. My new apartment is going to be a brownish mustard yellow, and it has blue counters in the kitchen. What do I do to survive in that color scheme? I don't know. Doesn't sound too bad to me. Like, sounds like there's a complementary blue and yellow. Maybe pop like some vibrant orange in there, like a throw cushion or something. Mary Lannon, we got inspiration from Nausicaa of the Wind. It's Nausicaa of the Wind, sorry. And Castle in the Sky, says India. Nausicaa and the Valley of the Winds. Such, like, Miyazaki is amazing. We went to the Ghibli Museum in Tokyo and were completely blown away with the sheer amount of stuff that is in there. I can see why they don't like show you before going in. Everything is just a surprise. If you can make it to the Ghibli Museum, go. There are rooms filled with development paintings. There are books on a table that I won't tell you about. Just go. Let's see. Cha. There's so much to be learned by trying to reproduce what you're inspired by. Yeah, Swifty, I totally agree. Okay, I've picked up the stylus again. I feel like I'm probably about done on this. I think if I do any more, I'm just gonna like end up noodling. I think I might have lost a little bit of the cool color variation that I had here, so I'm gonna make a new layer and bring in a little bit of this like light blue. Just run it through here just a little bit. Something that's cool in most digital art packages is you can change the blending mode. It's over here on the left behind the chat, but let me pull that out for you. This here determines the blending mode, and that it's like what that layer does, how that layer affects the layers below it. So a normal layer just means that it's gonna just be the colored pixels that it is, but if I sort of drag down, you can see a whole bunch of different results, and it's just a different process on what layers are below it. So like color dodge and stuff will like push the saturation and the brightness. Soft light will, or like color in here is fairly similar, but color, I don't know the actual difference between those two. I probably should, but tend to get more vibrancy with the color one opposed to the hue. I think the hue just shifts the values. Shifts the values as they are over into the same kind of chroma spectrum as the color of the layer that is the hue layer. Anyway, all that for, I just want to have a little bit of like vibrant blue in here that I can push and pull out. Or maybe not that blue. Maybe if I use Control U, I can slightly shift the hue of that. Something more like this. Yeah, I think that's going to be a bit better. It's going to contrast more with the interior of their cloak. And then I want a touch of pink as well. Pictured this really cool thing where if they have like a sheet of metal or something, they never just make that metal gray. They always just add in little bits of touches of other hues, like a little bit of orange, green, purple, blue, sometimes yellow. And and it's subtle, but it just creates this nice variation and vibrance throughout the material that just brings it to life. That is what I have in mind while I'm doing this. So it just doesn't feel like his clothing is one distinct color. If you've ever looked at the work of, I think it's, is it Andre Ledeboin? I think his name is Doig, maybe. He does that a lot in his work, and I really appreciate his work for it. I'm gonna like push it back a little by erasing into that, just so it's not so like in your face. Would India still smash with you if you got hives from Buffy? I think yes. Maybe we would like keep Buffy in another room. I saw the work you were doing on Rayman earlier. It's looking really cool, Jordan. See you, Worms. I will, yeah. We'll go for another 5 or 10 minutes, I think. This has been really, really nice and chill. Oh. I don't think you have to worry about Buffy getting to effect. Unless you have chicken. Yeah, there's India. How often has India been called India Inc? India's email is indiainc@. I won't give the whole thing in case she doesn't want to make that public, but yeah. India's CV is India Inc. The phone company used to call you India Inc. Oh man. So India's a big fan of puns as well. She punned herself. Chicken calories. What are you most proud of related to this project? I think I'm most proud of India. It's true. Like, this is her first experience directing something, and she knocked it out of the park. And directing is hard. Like, having the responsibility to make the calls, make the decisions, not seeing the future, and having to convince a very enthusiastic group who have amazing ideas that has to all get channeled into one groove. And second, I'm proud of the entire team, but no. If you had to press me for like most proud, What was it that Tib said? Most proud of their friends on the project. That's nice. I'll be right back. We've had a really nice weekend. We've had like friends visiting, including Elle, who's visiting us. It's been really cool. Surreal, for the most part, but really cool. Blue Neon Kid. The animation was animated in Toon Boom Harmony. Mystery Skull's Ghost. I'm not familiar with that. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. I do know that because India is now singing at me. Yeah, no, I remember that. The one with like the heart on the. Yeah. Yeah. You currently use Adobe Flash to animate. Would it be easy to transition over to Toon Boom Harmony? I think when you find the tools that you're familiar with in one, it's easy to transfer those same tools over to the other one. So yeah, I don't think you would have too much trouble. I think just learning the layout. It's a bit different. Siamese the Wolf is such a fantastic animation. Do you remember Double King? I think that's Felix Colgrave. He is so good. I think India came up with the name Mobian based on Mobius. Is that right, India? Yeah, so because Mobius, the artist, was one of our influences, it was like sort of nod to him and his work. Oh, you're writing it, cool. I love the rhythm of Double King. Everything just has this sort of nice, like, energy to it. Like an unpredictability as well. Things always seem to move slightly faster or slower than you think they will. Okay, well, I think that's my time up. It's been really nice. Butler, I'm just really sorry. I've been going for the last 2 and a bit hours, and I would like to do this again sometime. I'm not sure when. Since this was like an impromptu kind of like, hey, let's do a thing. But yeah, it's been really fun, and I'm really thankful you guys have like come out and joined Indy and I as we fart around and make stuff. Jenna, I'm really glad. I tend to ramble and like just spew words when I'm trying to give advice, but if you find something in that will help you make the next step that you need to make, that next step, I am really pleased. Like, I really like seeing other artists, you know, improve and grow. So you're very welcome, Cinny. And let's go. Renee loves farting around. Oh, Jenna, please do. We have a little bot somewhere. Let me see if they're awake. Do you already know our Twitter? I don't know. You might already know it, but let's have the bot do at least one thing. Oh, they totes did it! Yay, they're awake. Oh, you're very welcome, Danny Hyper. If any of you are interested, we have a Patreon that we keep completely public, which has art and advice and like past projects that we've worked on. If you want to get to know us a little bit more and see where we've come from and how we got to Starlight Brigade, then like you're completely welcome to just check out everything on there. I'm gonna link it if you're interested. Follow it. We're gonna we're gonna definitely try and put up as much behind the scenes stuff as we are allowed to on Patreon. So I think the bot knows this command. If it doesn't, I'll do it manually. Oh no. No, there it goes with the Twitter again. Tell them when we do the streams. Okay. If you want to come hang out again, we'll be back tomorrow. In about 8 hours. I'll do that. And sorry, thank you. We stream Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays from 7 a.m. British Standard Time until about 7:30 a.m. till 9. But yeah, until then, take care, and may the rest of all of your days be filled. Am I doing this on my own, India? We have a send-off in the morning streams, just like, may the rest of your day be filled with adventure, and we do this cool little song and stuff, but India's over there, hiding out. Referral! Adventure! You'll probably hear it really quietly in the background. But yeah. We try to upload as often as we can on Tuesdays, Sunny Hyper. But we have more material now to put up. So, yeah. Take care, everyone. I'm gonna head off now. Bye-bye.